This episode of Fairy Tail only had one thing important to the plot of the entire series of fighting Zeref. Only one scene. That's it. The rest of it was unneeded and possibly questionable as to whether it was even well told. Alright, well, first off, this episode starts with Fairy Tail coming home to a parade because that's what they needed. They needed a bit of an ego boost. They were so down on themselves throughout the whole Grand Magic Games, it was almost depressing. It's glad to know now there's people out there telling them they're great. Like, they don't hear that enough. Whatever. And now everyone's, back at the headquarters. Apparently that's the reward. They don't have to work for it anymore. It's like, oh, you were amazing. Here's your stuff back. Everything's fine. Thank you. And now they're all back to work. Like, all right, straight to business, back to work. More missions, more stories, stuff like that. Fine. Lucy and Natsu and Happy have to find a new job. While Urza, Gray, Wendy, and Carla are out doing something else. Like, all right, we're going back to the original formula. It's like, just Natsu and Lucy, going on a mission. Great, back to basics. That's fine, fun. And they go to this town. It's covered in mud because a mole, which apparently in this world moles look like giant fish tadpole things. He's been digging on the ground and water seeped in and boom, flooded town. And they're having a bit of trouble taking him down. And then Urza, Gray, Wendy, and Carla appear to help. Because their mission required only taking care of bandits, but they didn't need to even fight them. They just went into town saying, Fairy Tail's here, and the bandits are like, oh shit, let's move somewhere else. Okay. And here's what I'm questioning. What is wrong with just having a couple of Fairy Tail members in the episode? Can we go back to at least just one episode of just Natsu and Lucy and Happy, like the good old days? I think they're enough to carry an episode. We don't need Gray, Urza, and Wendy and Carla constantly there in every single episode. It's almost like it's compensating. It's like, these characters I don't think are interesting enough by themselves. We need a whole group to balance everything out. And really, when you really see this episode fully and see how it ends, you can actually make the argument that Urza, Gray, Wendy, and Carla are not needed. They are not needed character-wise. They help by attacking the mole, but other than that, they had no actual part of their character to the story. They don't. It's just Gray gets in the way of Natsu and Natsu gets in the way of Gray so they can fight. Yay. Urza pretty much doesn't do anything. Urza doesn't do anything in this whole episode. Even Wendy and Carla don't do anything. They're only there to make the joke that the mole is attracted to Lucy and only Lucy. Is not attracted to Urza because she, with the armor, she looks like a boy. And it's not attracted to Wendy because she has no tits. That's pretty much it. There's the joke that both of these characters came in to do. The mole is not attracted to them. Ha 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 ha. And alright, either way, the mole was apparently abandoned by his previous owner, which is why he went on a rampage or grew up to be bitter. I don't know, dude, leave it with a friend or something. Tell the mole, I'm sorry, little buddy, I have to move to another town. I don't know why I can't take you. It doesn't give us a reason why. I'm just an asshole. Just gonna leave you on this rock. Bye. But currently, again, Fairy Tail are the only people who are actually likable. Everyone else is an asshole, and they cause the problems because they're assholes to everyone else, and they become villains. I have no idea. And that drives them to come up with the plan that Lucy has to dress in a wedding dress to let the thing know that it wants to marry him because he's attracted to females, human females. And okay, now there's bestiality in this. And I was like, ugh. And even now, how it ends is like, but mole, you can't marry me. I'm a human. And all I can think about in my sick mind is, you've clearly not seen enough porn. There's plenty of porn out there where in their minds these sick people actually marry animals. Seriously, I don't need the even thought of it in my show. I don't. Whatever. And they've solved the problem by Virgo finding this big-breasted lobster lady or lobster female. I have no idea what the hell it is. And just the mole likes it. Big tits on a lobster. Let's go get busy mating. Even though we're not the same species. Again, I don't know how this world works. Magic. And then it just ends with an epic scene of Zareth and Mavis talking to each other, thinking, is this going to lead to war? Are we going to have to fight each other? Fairy Tail will defeat you. And Zareth's like, well, I will kill everybody. Like, no, Fairy Tail will kill you. You know, and boom, it ends with them facing each other. Damn good scene right there. And the rest of the episode that followed before it was just big breasts, girls in the mud, and possible bestiality. No point to the rest of the Fairy Tail characters to be here. Just Natsu, Lucy, and Cappy would have been fine. It just sounded like a rant, but it's not. I'm just questioning as to what was the point of this. In fact, I don't even remember reading this at all in the manga. I guess it's just filler for the anime. But even the next episode is going to be filler. So why couldn't they do that? I don't know. It's just very sad that such an epic scene that builds on the main part, main plot of the whole series of taking down Zareth has to be in this episode. You have to watch all of this just bizarreness for such, possibly maybe a 3-minute epic scene that's actually going to be important to the future of the series. It's almost insulting. Like, they made this episode and think, no one's going to like this. Let's force them to watch it by putting something they need to see at the very end. I mean, sure, you can skip to the very end, but it's the fact that it's still part of the full episode. It's just, I don't know. Again, like I said, that epic scene is epic enough to give it maybe just 3 scores right now. The rest of it, it's funny at certain points, and other time it's bizarre, and I have no idea what to think of it. So I guess I'd give this episode a 4 out of 10. But ultimately, it was mostly because of that ending scene. The rest of the episode is not needed. So if you start watching this episode, just skip to the end. There it is. Just those 3 minutes is this episode. 3 minutes, 3-minute long episode. Best episode ever. There, we're done. Next episode, which is again filler. I have no idea. Either way, this isn't a rant. I'm just saying there was no reason to put this epic of a scene in this episode. You could have probably put it at the end of, I don't know, a more decent episode with a mission, that actually is, action-packed. I have no idea. I honestly don't know where they could have put this scene. I don't know what the future episodes hold. Hopefully they're better than this, but either way, until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.